Good morning, children. So we have seen the case of a matter. So anything that occupies a space and has a mass is commonly known as a matter. For example, when we are considering the case of a piece of iron, it has means mass as well as a volume. Anything that occupies a space means that is known as a volume. So when we are considering the case of a piece of iron, it has a volume as well as a mass. So we can consider that it is a matter. So iron is a matter. Similarly, if you are considering any situation, you can consider the case of this scale. This is a matter. It is, we can see that it occupies a space. That means it has a volume as well as it has a mass. So this is a matter. Like this way, anything that occupies a space or a volume and has a mass is commonly known as a matter. So here we are considering the case of a piece of iron, which is a matter. So I am considering a situation which I am dividing this iron piece into two. Like this, initially I am dividing this piece of iron into two halves, like this way. So it is divided into two pieces. Like this, it is divided into two pieces, we can say that. Again, I am further dividing this first piece of iron into smaller piece. Like this way, this piece is divided into smaller piece. Like this way. That means this process is continuously going on, and we are reaching a stage where we cannot divide this iron into further piece. That means we are reaching the smallest particle of this iron. We cannot be further divided that piece into smaller piece. So that is considered as the smallest particle of this iron. So that smallest particle of this iron, we call it as an atom. This name was given by a scientist. We can say that the name of that scientist is John Dalton. John Dalton. So John Dalton called this the smallest particle of the substance as an atom. So we can say that atom means it is the smallest particle of a substance which cannot be further divided. So that smallest particle of a substance which cannot be further divided is known as an atom. So when we are concerned the case of a piece of iron, the smallest particle of a piece of iron which cannot be divided further is known as an iron atom. Similarly, you can consider the case of a gold. The smallest particle of the gold is considered as a gold atom. Like this way, if you are considering any substance, the smallest particle of that substance is commonly known as what is that atom. But when we are considering the case of a water, we cannot say that it is a water atom, because in the case of a water that contains more than one type of a atom, we can say that. So when we are considering the case of a water, it contains two different types of atoms. We can say atoms of hydrogen. It contains, water contains atoms of hydrogen and atoms of oxygen. More precisely, we can say that the water which contains two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So like this way, atoms are combined together. Like this way, you can see that different atoms are combined together to form a new substance that is known as a molecule. It is known as a molecule. So here we have to call this water as a water molecule, because water consists of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So water is considered as a molecule. So we can call it as a water molecule. So what is it by a molecule? What is it by a molecule? The atoms combine together to form molecule, we can say. In this case, water molecule, two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen combine together to form one water molecule. So this is the smallest particle in the case of a water molecule. Yes or no? One water molecule which contains, what is that? Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. That is considered as the smallest particle in the case of a water molecule. So one water molecule contains, we can say, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Similarly, when we are considering the case of what is that? In the beginning, we said in the case of an iron atom, or we can consider the case of a gold atom. We can see that in all these types of materials, we can see that the smallest particles are considered as atoms only. So the smallest particles are considered as atoms. So that types of substances we call it as elements. We can say elements. So we can say that in the case of iron, or in the case of gold, oxygen, hydrogen, all these are known as what is that elements only, which contains what is that smallest particles are considered as atoms only. So the smallest particles, the substances which is having the smallest particles as atoms, so that types of substances we call it as elements. And when we are considering the case of substances such as water, which is made up of more than what is that 1 or 2 types of atoms. So such types of substances are known as what is that we call it as compounds. We call these types of substances as compounds. And when we are considering the case of compounds, the smallest particle of a compound is considered as what is that molecule. So atoms combine together to form molecules, and when we are considering the case of compounds, we have seen that what is that the compounds which are made up of 2 or more elements. The compounds which are made up of 2 or more elements, that type of substances are known as compounds, and the smallest particle in the case of compounds is considered as what is that molecule. So water is considered as a compound, and the smallest particle in the water is considered as what is that molecule, which contains atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, thank you.